one small step for man.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call a mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit.
Hey everybody, it's Dylan. Sorry for keeping you waiting. I heard a lot of people wanted to know more about my home gym and just sort of like an in-depth thing about how much everything cost, where I source things from. So we're finally going to do that. I've just had some issues, break up and things in life got in the way of uploading altogether. So now we're finally going to do it. So the first thing to note is obviously you need a space. I was really lucky that I have this giant shed to just clear a bit of space and create the gym. You could do a bunch of other things. You could set it up inside, buy little sheds that you can construct yourself and put up for like a tiny little gym. But if you don't have the space, you can just about put a gym anywhere. Just a simple squat rack with some barbells and plates, and that's really all you need for a home gym. This one was from Nirvana. I got this through eBay. It's got a good setup. Got a dip station here. Very adjustable. Bar with a bunch of different angles, got whatever you want. Nirvana, there it is. Yeah, this was about $600 shipped to me, and this was one of the first pieces I had. The next thing I looked into was grabbing some plates, and I sourced these plates, most of them through Facebook Marketplace. You can really find good bargains on there. So one of the first things I ended up getting was, as I said, the rack. And just before I got that, I ended up with this cheap barbell. I got this through Facebook Marketplace. As you can see, it failed me. All my fault. I was slamming weights and carrying on like an idiot, but I enjoyed myself, so that's all that matters. So I got that, and with that bar, I got 100 kilos of plates, and altogether, so 100 kilos of weights, and that bar set me back $300 to start off. And from there, I went to buy 3 sets of 20 kilos. So I got the bumpers. They were an additional $300. These were an additional $250. And then I got myself some cast iron plates as well. And the cast iron ones were actually really cheap. They were secondhand, as the other ones were brand new. And these ones were $150 for both. So one thing I would definitely recommend is, instead of cheaping out and getting really cheap bars, they do the job for a while, but eventually you want to get some quality bars. And the first one I went to was a Verve stiff bar. That's this one here, black zinc coated, really good bar. That set me back $350. But it'll never break. And then the other bar I got, because I love to deadlift, I love to deadlift, I got this from Verve as well. This is a deadlift bar that they do, really good bar. That one was $700. And so if you don't know the difference between a deadlift bar and a stiff bar, so this one, so a generic stiff bar is 2 meters long and a thickness 28 millimeters. And then on a deadlift bar, they're generally 2.2 meters or longer, and they're a bit thinner, so they're about 27 millimeters. The knurling's much more aggressive, and I guess the point of it being thinner is for a better pull off the floor, so you get a bit more flex, as a deadlift bar should. But it's really not necessary, I wouldn't say, but it's definitely something you want to do if you plan on training from your home gym exclusively. So you get a good grip on that bar compared to that one, but any bar would work for a home gym. So here I've got my Hex bar, trap bar. You've seen a lot of this. I really enjoy this. It takes all the load off your lower back, and you can just perform nice, safe deadlifts, still train the movement. And that only cost me about $250 through eBay. I think this is probably one of my favorite things, and I definitely recommend, if you haven't tried a trap bar before, to try one. Next we have the Swiss bar, which is good if you experience a lot of shoulder pain and that sort of thing. You can go with a neutral grip, and it's much more safer. It's got all the different angles you can use there. And this, the same, was about $250 through through eBay. So a lot of my stuff did come from eBay, and eBay is probably going to be your best bet to find things that you want. But Facebook Marketplace really has a lot of good stuff. Like this dumbbell rack, I got this through Marketplace. It cost me $1,300, and I was lucky enough to be able to get it shipped to me free of charge, just because of my situation. So you could add another $200 to ship all this, because it is a lot of weight. So $1,300 will get you the rack itself, 7 kilos, all the way up to 40, which is plenty for me, plenty for most. And it's not an essential. I wouldn't say it's an essential, but it's just a nice thing to have. You know, instead of having the interchangeable dumbbells where you got to change it every single set, you just got everything you need right here. And I would recommend, if you have the money and you really want a home gym, I'd take the plunge. This next one here is my lat pull down, plate loaded, and it comes with an attachment so you can do some rows down here. This was really cheap, but to be honest, I really don't use this. It just doesn't feel right, but if that's all you can get your hands on, then I would recommend getting something like this. This was only $200 through eBay. Here's the company here. Very cheap, very easy to set up. And so if you already have your plates, you just put plates on there and pay a bit less. So this high-low pull I got off Facebook Marketplace. This was an absolute bargain. This was $70. The stack goes from 5 kilos down to 75, which is plenty for push downs and curls. You know, you've got the low pull there and the high pull up here. And this is probably my favorite piece of equipment that I've bought. You can do so much with it. It's just really, I was really fortunate to find it when I did. And all I did was put a bit of black paint on it just to fit the theme of the gym. So all of these bars, all these attachments, I got these through eBay. And for all of these, it's everything you need. And I'd probably just say $150 for all these. So Vigor Gains, these guys I've been with forever. I was with them right at the beginning of their journey when they started their business, Vigor Gains. And I've always supported them, they've always supported me, and they're absolutely great guys, they're great trainers. And if you are any chance looking for online training, Vigor Gains, go look them up. You will not regret it. So another thing I got was an Easy Curl bar. Don't really use it much, but this was through eBay as well. This was only about $60, and it gets the job done. So with some barbells, I would recommend getting good quality ones like these. So you can cheap out a bit on some bars, but I do recommend, if you're going to get a stiff bar or a deadlift bar, you've got to get something that's got good knurling, that's not going to bend on you or break like this bar did. That's just a cheap bar. It's like $100. Anyway, I would definitely recommend getting a good bar that just, won't break, won't bend. Unless you want it to bend, like a deadlift bar should. So these bands here, all these bands from light to heavy, I got all these through eBay as well. They cost me about $70, and a bit of resistance, whatever you need. This step, this is a good investment, good for doing hip thrusts and that sort of thing, easy to set up. This was $100 through Facebook Marketplace. So one thing I would definitely recommend is getting yourself a bunch of these mirrors. So even if you have a tiny, tiny space to set up a gym, if you get some mirrors, I guarantee you that whole space will open up. It makes the room feel so much bigger than it actually is. Like, this is a big space. This space is maybe 10 by 10 meters. So it's plenty, it's really all you need. So some more things I have is all my belts and that sort of thing. I've got the belt that you can chuck weight around you and do weighted pull-ups and weighted dips and that sort of thing. All these belts and these sort of things, these were quite expensive actually, but I think a good quality belt is something that you need. I mean, you can cheap out, but generally you want a good quality belt, and all these belts about $500. So all these mirrors actually were quite expensive. They were the cheapest I could find, and they were about $300. I broke one. So I did have a couple more, but I'm pretty bad at breaking mirrors and not having them suspended properly, and they just fall off onto the ground and break. But I definitely recommend some mirrors. I probably have about 100 years of bad luck with all these mirrors that broke, but it hasn't kicked in yet, so hopefully it doesn't, but who knows. So we're getting down to the last things here. The last things I've got, both of these benches, these were through eBay as well. So both the benches, we've got the incline, dumbbell shoulder press, incline bench, and a flat bench. And these two together probably cost me about $180 to $200. They're not the best, but they get the job done, and that's all you can ask for. Like, I'm not pumping some huge weights in here, so they're very capable of holding me up and not breaking. The gym mats, I feel like the gym mats are an essential. These actually came with the dumbbell rack, so that was a really good deal. I got all these squares here. These are meter by meter, and it's just good for deadlifting on it. Keeps the noise down. If you're in a hard set, you can just throw your dumbbells down. It doesn't make as much noise, which is a good thing, and it just gives it a great feel, sort of like a gym feel. And then just foam rollers, and we've got straps and chalk and ammonia. Knee sleeves, knee wraps, and that sort of thing. All that probably cost me another $200. But at the end of the day, if you want to invest in a home gym and you have the space and you have the funds to do it, I 100% recommend, because then you're in your home gym. There's no distractions. There's nothing that's going to not girls walking past or someone lifting heavy weights and get thrown off track. You know how it is. So I would definitely recommend it. And then this way you think of it sort of like an investment. So all the money I spent on this will eventually come back around, because you're not spending $30, $35 a month on a gym membership. So eventually you will get all your cash back, and then you go from there. You have a home gym. You can do so much in here. Play whatever music you want, you can be as loud as you want, you can slam weights, whatever you want to do, whatever tickles your fancy. Just inviting friends over and having a good workout, having everything you need, when you need it, when you want it. It's really good. And another thing, so if you're a personal trainer, which I'm trying to become, you already have the facility here to do everything you need. You don't need to pay the gym to go in there and train people. You can train people at your home gym. So if you think about it, it's actually a really good investment. So if you have any questions about anything, just drop them in the comments, and I'll get back to you. But thanks for watching anyway. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some insight. I hope it motivated you to actually maybe open your own home gym, because it really is a great thing, Just having it here, it's something else. I never really imagined having a home gym, especially of this caliber. And people that come over, they really enjoy it. It just has a nice feel to it compared to a commercial gym. It's just got like that underground feeling, just loud music, slamming weights, and just like you get this energy in the room, and it's really, really good. I definitely recommend. So thank you guys again. And hopefully I can upload some more. I plan to, and I really want to grow the YouTube a bit and see where it leads me. Anyway, thank you guys.